LeBron James has carried the NBA for 20 years. He didn't have a long playoff run this year. Did you see the NBA ratings? As every other sport, WNBA, Copa, Euros, college football, up. NBA ratings, tank. No LeBron. Isn't it kind of an understanding in America? You do me well, I owe you a solid. That's like a given, right? I take you to the airport. You're buying the next dinner. I help you move. I get a little something back. If I carry your sport, get you a new TV contract worth $7 billion, you got a problem with Bronny James getting drafted by the Lakers? It's the weakest NBA draft in maybe ever. It shows how polarizing LeBron James is. And my takeaway is, you're really bothered by it? LeBron James has carried the league for 20 years. He and Steph Curry have carried the league. Neither made a playoff run this year. Ratings went to the tank. No LeBron, no Steph. Yeah, I'm okay in the weakest draft ever. The Lakers going, we'll do you a solid. By the way, I think his son's a G League. I think at best he's a low-end rotational player. But this draft was horrible. By the way, how many sons who aren't qualified or at minimum aren't the best candidate end up on their father's staff in the NFL or college? Nobody gets too worked up over that. I'm not losing sleep over it, and nor should you. So it's been called hold in, not hold out, hold in week in Green Bay. Because Jordan Love is around the facility, but he doesn't want to practice and get hurt before the big contract. So I think Green Bay is really the most amazing story in American sports, if you really think about it. So Belichick and Brady, Mahomes and Andy Reid have, they've dominated the trophies and the attention in football for 20-some years. But here's what's interesting. So Green Bay's got no owner, which I think can be a real negative or a positive, but no owner to get on the phone and just make a deal. It's the least attractive free agent market for splashy free agents because it's a town of 100,000 or 105,000. Very cold, windy weather. A lot of skill players don't want to play in that. Most guys would rather play in Miami than Green Bay. Sorry, it's true. And yet they've been the model of consistency in the NFL for 32 years. Smallest pro market. And I'm not sure if people realize, since Brett Favre arrived 32 years ago, they have the second most wins in the sport to New England. They've got 2 Super Bowl wins, 9 conference championship appearances, and 23 playoff appearances in 32 years. That is insane when you consider now they're on their third quarterback. Their third starting quarterback. It'd be one thing if Brady hogged up 20 years or Mahomes plays for 17. No, they're on their third. So nobody is more consistent since Brett Favre arrived with offense. They're the number one offense overall in the last 32 years as they're on their third quarterback. That's insane. Nobody does offensive lines better. Nobody does quarterback better. The most valuable position, Little Green Bay. And think about that in terms of weather. They don't play indoors, and they don't just play outdoors. It's one of the coldest, snowiest, reasonably windiest markets in the league. Not great for offense, especially in a sport where Thanksgiving on is run when all the big games are played. I mean, the sport's basically a tune-up for Thanksgiving on. December games, January games, playoff games, February. Season's getting extended now, so it'll end closer to March. It's just going to be colder in Green Bay. So to me, if you're going to doubt Green Bay on quarterbacks or offense, do it at your own peril. Both New York franchises a circus. Big market D.C., big market Atlanta, big market Chicago. Been a mess on and off for the last 32 years. I don't second-guess Green Bay. I don't second-guess them on coaching hires. I don't second-guess them on offensive line decisions or quarterback decisions. I mean, think about this. Aaron Rodgers, MVP, leaves. They bring in another kid from Utah State, and they had more touchdown passes, more yards More yards per play, more touchdowns scored, everything across the board. Replacing Aaron Rodgers. I'm done second guessing. However the hold-in works, whatever the Packers do, I'm good with it. J-Mac with the news.
No. Turn on the news. This is the Herd.
It is a Friday. We're going to have our best show of the week. We're going to Paris, Team USA basketball. We're going to Pennsylvania, Steeler camp. Live in Los Angeles, here it's the Herd. Wherever you may be and however you may be listening, thanks for making us part of your day. Good night's sleep, lot of energy. We're bouncing all over the country today. New York, Steeler camp. This is such a good time of the year. Okay. Such a good time. J-Mac joining me as well. So, one of the things I've said for years, the hat on forward thing, which is sort of metaphorical. I don't care who wears their hat which way, except quarterbacks when they go to the podium. And that's basically about maturity and understanding and self-awareness, right?
Sure.
And I've said this for years. I don't think Dak has a great arm or is a great athlete, but his hyper maturity, he's an adult, yet non-emotional in big emotional moments. But he was getting sort of emotional yesterday because, right, like this is his last year guaranteed for the Dallas Cowboys. His contract will be up. And as usual, Dak was able to see through everything and land a comment on his future in Dallas.
It's a business, and when I'm going to say it, I want to be here, but when you look up, all the great quarterbacks I watched played for other teams. So my point in saying that is that's not something to fear. That may be a reality for me one day, may not be my decision.
I love that. I'm not afraid to go into the market. Love it here, but not afraid. And I think Dak would actually have a bigger market than you think. I think he'd have a bigger market than Tom Brady at the end. I do. I think he'd have a bigger market than Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson. I do. Russell, as we know, little cringy. Don't get that with Dak. A lot of drama with Aaron Rodgers. You don't get that with Dak. Tom Brady's age. Dak's only 31. Dak, you get no cringe, no age concerns, no maintenance, no drama, very productive, can win 12 games a year. His floor, 8 wins, his ceiling, 12. Probably not a Super Bowl. But, think of all these really talented, near the top of the draft quarterbacks. Cam Newton, Deshaun Watson, Baker Mayfield, a bit combative, Russell Wilson, Kyler Murray, competition and commitment issues. How much do they win? You know who wins? Jared Goff, Dak, Kirk Cousins, Jalen Hurts. The guys that don't give you a lot of drama. Justin Herbert's going to start winning a lot. Is that if you ask general managers, they're looking for a coach on the field. They're not looking for drama and maintenance and passive-aggressive. Green Bay moved off Aaron Rodgers, and he had just won several MVPs. Darkness retreats. Guy coaches, GMs, they don't want to deal with any of that nonsense. And so Dak's maturity, this is what I've been banging on for years. Hat on forward, say the right thing, put a wet blanket on a potential fire, all this stuff. It's what GMs look at. I think Dak would have a really big market. I think it's highly probable that the Raiders and the Panthers and the Giants and maybe the Seahawks and the Titans would all be interested at the end of the season. So Dallas needs to know that. Oh, there'll be a market. It'll be bigger than Aaron's market. It'll be bigger than Tom's market. And you think, oh, that's crazy. He's 31, 12 wins, no drama, productive. Dak doesn't even have great weapons now, and he had the number 1 offense in the league. And you can't give McCarthy credit, right? He's a bum. Everybody thinks he's a bum. Remember, 30% of this league has chaos at quarterback. You never have that with Dak. His floor is 8-8. Here's another thing. It's not a great college quarterback draft next year. Here's another thing. If Tua and Jordan Love sign contracts, and they will, who's quarterback 2 on the market? There won't be any. It'll be Dak and Sam Darnold-ish players. So Dak's going to have market. That doesn't mean you necessarily have to overpay him. I don't have a problem. I don't like people that live in fear. Go to the college. draft and draft somebody. But it's not a great college quarterback draft. It's okay. It's not great. There's not going to be a market outside if Jordan Love and Tua sign.